Be warned, I have the notebook. If you hear a little ticking noise in the background, it's because I'm ripping a DVD. I'm actually ripping that one, Veep, which is kind of a West Wingy style thing with Julia Louis-Dreyfus in Married to Richard Dreyfus. I have watched it, but not for a very long time, and I don't think that's available anywhere on TV. That's why I bought the DVDs. But also, on that point, I have one Blu-ray of that series. I tried to rip that, I put it into the optical drive and it just spewed it back out again. So I'm guessing I need a different optical drive for Blu-ray. Would that be right? The only reason I can think of, but that optical player just would not play Blu-ray. So if you can hear a little ticking noise in the background, apologies, but that's what's going on while I'm recording this. Also, things on the notepad to talk about. Apathy. It was interesting, the comments on yesterday's vlog about WWDC. I didn't watch it live for the first time in years. I used to be sitting on the sofa marking down the moments. I was one of the watch team, you know, waiting for it to tick down to start. It seems we've all got to that point of apathy. I watched most of it on catch-up, but some of it, like you, Steve, I watched some of the highlights things. I needed, obviously, for what I do, I needed all the salient points down. But I didn't have the appetite to watch it live, which is really odd, isn't it? And we're all feeling it, which kind of ties into the style of videos I'll be making about reducing the amount of tech that I'm around all day long. I mean, I haven't missed the watch in ages now. It just feels really natural to be wearing a mechanical watch again, and I'm glad I'm doing that. It's odd. Maybe that's why tech channels are suffering slightly, possibly. And that's why I'm trying to think of inventive and more entertaining ways to talk about tech and, you know, doing my thing in town, which I might be going to London tomorrow on an unscheduled stop. I've been playing today with the Honor Magic Pad 4, and it seems good. I mean, this is the thing. It's like, you know, there's this thing at the moment, a lot of camera channels are closing down because there's no bad cameras. It's the same with tech. There's no bad tech. I happen to be happy with an iPad, and I happen to use an iPad, but if I got that, and certainly at the price, for 600 quid, which is the 256 and 12 gig model, you get the keyboard and a pencil for free. 600 quid. It's quick, it's fast, it's good to use, but I think I've worked out a story that I can tell, but it'd be far better to tell that story in London than sitting in the studio. So I haven't decided yet, but there is a chance I'm going to go into town tomorrow to make a video for next week. The NAS video sadly isn't doing particularly well. I didn't expect it would because I'm not a NAS channel. I hope they're reasonable and they kind of understand it's just going to take a bit of time, and they don't play a silly dance to me as well. Of which, talking of people playing silly buggers with me, Wondershare came back to me today with an email. Oh, we're looking at that last one, the one iCloud data restore. It's not doing very well. Could you make us a couple of shorts? And I said, oh, look, to be honest, over those two videos, but the other video, the how to break into an iPhone video, that's topping up 20,000 views now. It's oddly my best video of the year, which I don't feel particularly proud about, but there you go. So I said to her, it's not the quality of the video that I've made, it's the subject matter. People aren't particularly interested in restoring iCloud data. And you've got to accept that sometimes it's a lottery, and Google aren't giving it many impressions, and a short definitely won't help. And I said, also, you got it at an incredibly good price, half the price I initially quoted, but it was still okay money. So I took the job on. But then don't forget, I also lost 100 quid off of both videos when I tried to promote their videos, and Google said no. Okay, we know that I then, because Google don't give out money back, I've just put them into my own videos. But effectively, I'm £200 down on the deal as well, because I've tried to promote their videos, and Google do not like Wondershare. They will not promote Wondershare videos, full stop. They obviously think they're unethical, and it's not my problem. And then she's trying to give me the sob story, I'm going to get penalised internally. It's like, well, it's not my fault. You can see I can make a good video. Give me a subject that somebody wants to watch, and I'll put the same effort into both videos. One's done really well, one hasn't. I put a huge effort into that NAS, and I really loved using the NAS, and yet that's doing poorly. So that just makes me a little bit worried. Last time I dealt with Ugreen, they were fine. I think they realised that these evergreen videos, they're there for searchability. It's all to the good. And I have kind of included them in a story as well, so I might even let them have a look at that, because written word, as we know from Espresso Displays, is hugely important. So I might let them see that as well. But anyway, yeah, Wondershare were just playing silly buggers today. I mean, I've got the money, so they're not getting anything out of me. No, I'm not going to make a short. You didn't pay me to make a short. You barely paid me enough to make a long form. And the fact that the video is not performing isn't my issue. As to our other mystery sponsor, they came back to me today. I mean, it continues with them. They came back. I sent them 2 scripts, you remember, for their 2 shorts that I've got to do to get the last of the money out of them. And they said, oh, we need to shorten them down a bit. Well, that's fine by me. The less talking I do, the less video I make to get my money, the happier I am. As you know, there's no passion. I'm doing it for one reason and one reason only, just to get the money. That's it. No, nothing more than that. And then she gave me some links to Google Docs, but they were password protected, and I hadn't been given the password, so I couldn't get into them. I would have recorded those this afternoon. If she comes back first in the morning, do I go to London or do I make shorts? I haven't decided yet. I've definitely taken my foot off the gas a little bit in this last week, 10 days. I think with that video waiting to be approved by Eugen last week, and things are busy-ish, but there's that little, that odd feeling. It's just, there's not quite as much pressure on at the moment. And because I'm working all the time, I'm sort of staying ahead and on top of things. And so I don't know, I have definitely taken my foot off the gas a bit. I don't feel the inclination necessary to make a short of my own at the moment. And I was doing that every single week. And I've just got to push back on again. It's dangerous. When I'm not really hugely driven, that's when I kind of drift a little bit and I'm not at my best. What was the next thing I was going to mention? Oh yeah, the ESR. So I've got a couple of videos still coming up. I've got the Joy Room. They came back. They're sending me that brick charger for iPhone. Hasn't arrived yet. It's interesting. They want that to go up mid-July, as do ESR. And ESR, I got in touch with them and showed them that there was nothing showing in transit. Apparently it's stuck in customs, the first one they sent me. So they're going to send me another one. But equally, they've knocked back their date to mid-July. So is there something going on in mid-July? Because Amazon Day is coming up, isn't it? End of this month? So I don't know why 2 companies have suddenly both said that they wanted it to go up mid-July. It just seems strange. But anyway, so I'm waiting for ESR to get the other Wondershare and ESR. I've still got 2 products to drop. And once they're here, I'll decide what I'm doing with those. And the only other real thing I was going to chat about tonight was why my view of people, life, and everything can be so jaundiced at times. You will remember that I went to the podcast show, and at the podcast show, Canon were there, and I was talking to the guys. I've got to know their faces and stuff. And if you remember, he said, "Oh, you should scan that QR code. You should enter that competition," which was take a picture of their stand at the podcast, use the right hashtags, and post it by a certain date, which I did. Because then you could win 3 of the Canon R50Vs that I've got and the kit lens. Really nice prize. I would have been happy with 1. 3, thank you very much. I'll take them. Anyway, I kind of went on to the website and tried to find details of 1. I couldn't find it. I think if you go through enough loops, you probably could do it, but I lost the interest then, so whatever, I haven't been notified. Wind that onto today, I went onto Instagram just to look at the little red dot at the top of the screen, see what it was, and it was Canon UK. What a fantastic picture. Can we use it on our social media and on our website? If you apply to us and give us the approval, that would be fantastic. So I did, and said, I assume I haven't won the contest. So here's my thought. The picture that I've taken with their kit lens, with their camera, at the podcast show is good enough to use, you see what I'm going with this, good enough to use on the website and on their socials, but not good enough to win the contest. How does that work? If you can explain to me how that works, I'd be really, this is why I'm so jaundiced with things, because surely if it's good enough for them to use, it's good enough to win. No? Am I missing something? I don't know. So I did say to them, I'm assuming I haven't won, whether they come back to me, they haven't returned my message yet, whether they come back to me tomorrow and with an offering of something, or I don't know. It just seems odd. It would be lovely to have won something, it would just be a nice little fillip. The way things have been, it'd be a nice little something. And I think that's about it, really. So tomorrow, yeah, it's either going to be doing those bloody shorts here, but I have to equate, well, that's getting nearer to the money. And I said, now you've got the scripts, here's the invoice, forward it to them, be processing that. And then she was saying, I can begin processing the invoice so that once the videos are posted, we can pay. I was like, that's not happening. I will send you links to the 2 videos, and they will be either low res, but more likely with a watermark of my logo on top of them, so they can't, because I don't trust them. And I said, once you've approved the videos, I will wait for payment to clear into my bank, and then I will post the shorts. They have completely blown any trust at all with me. I did have a couple of feedback from that KM Filters lot, but they haven't come back to me at all. And I had an email today from, I won't call it an agency, they're called Toxic Influencers. I've done stuff through them before. And and they wanted me to do something for Newer, which is odd because I've bumped into Newer a few times this year, and they don't want to do anything with me directly, and yet here's a company. I don't know. I'll see what comes back out of that. It's very early on, but Newer I did do something for really, really early on with the channel. Oh, because they sent me the slider, so I think I did it for nothing. And I said to this lead today that, yeah, I use a lot of Newer stuff. I've got some Newer filters that I use, and I've got Newer lamps and Newer sliders, and I've got a lot of kit of theirs that I use. So anyway, we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I just feel that I've kind of lost my oomph a little bit at the moment. I just feel like I've lost a little bit of the power and drive and passion I need to be pumping. Nothing's missed a beat, don't get me wrong. Yes, I know I didn't get a video out last week. There's a video up this week. Story's written, ready to go. I don't know. It's one of those days. You know what I mean? Anyway, that's down to me, isn't it? But anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for talking. Thank you for sharing all the information. And I was just really interested to see about the general apathy about WWDC. It just looks like, but they're all the same. I've sat through Samsung ones. I've sat through Honor ones. They all go on too long. They're all too self-congratulatory. They've all got a little bit samey, haven't they? I think we've just done our time, and there's other things to watch. So anyway, there you go. That's been my Wednesday. Might be fish and chips tonight. Might be fish and chips. I've been promising myself fish and chips all week, so I might grab those on the way home. I hope you have yourselves a lovely Wednesday, and I'll speak to you from somewhere on Thursday. I did enjoy Casey's video, by the way. I love that style of video because he's right in the centre of New York, where you can just immediately go in there on the subway. I'm that a little bit further out from London that I can't react quite as quickly as that, but you know how much I love London and getting into London, so the pull of London is drawing me in again. I know I was only there on Sunday, but and if you're into cricket, the whole Ben Stokes thing's kicked off, isn't it? I messaged AJ today and said, it looks like you might have seen the last test as Ben Stokes as captain. I think he will be captain again, but they've certainly dropped him and Atkinson for the next test for their little misdemeanor in Chelsea the other night. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'll speak to you tomorrow.